So one of the topics we're going to be talking about a little more in 2022 is some of the gear and equipment that we use while hiking and adventuring outdoors. Like us, many of you enjoy hiking and doing other outdoors adventures, and we want to talk about these products so that you can see if any of these are right for you and if any of them are ones you want to try out. So today's video is going to be all about the Kneevo Sleeve. Now, if you haven't heard about Kneevo before, Kneevo is a fairly new product to the market, and it's a sleeve that you can wear on your knee that helps support your knee. So if you've had a knee injury in the past, or if you just want a little extra support for more comfort, the Kneevo sleeve is a great option. So before I talk about my experience with testing out the sleeve, I do want to tell you a little bit of backstory as to why this sleeve is a great choice for me. So each year, my wife and kids and I, we typically hike more than 1,000 miles on trails. Some of those hikes are really tough ones with lots of rocks and other steep mountains that we're climbing down. Some that come to mind would be Mauna Kea on the big island of Hawaii. The summit of Mauna Kea is almost 14,000 feet high. And when you're climbing up and down that, there's a lot of those really hard lava rocks. Now, if you've climbed Mauna Kea before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But once you've actually climbed on those rocks, you quickly realize these are very hard. And the thing is, when you're climbing down a steep slope on those, you really feel the impact a lot more than you would with normal dirt or normal rocks. Another slope that comes to mind is Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Mount Washington, if you've done it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, Mount Washington not only has a harsh climate, but it's very steep and very rocky. So no matter which way you take to the top, unless you ride the Cog Railway, it's very steep, very rocky. And when you come back down, you really feel it in your knees. So the last time I hiked both of those slopes, I did not have knee support of any kind. And I wished I did, because by the time I got to the bottom, I was really feeling it, especially in my left knee. And that's because my left knee I injured several years ago when I was doing a multi-day backpacking trip. On the final day, I was coming down a steep, steep mountain that had a descent that went on for about 4 miles. And I was carrying about a 40-pound pack on my back. Took a step wrong, and my left knee bent at a weird angle, and I could barely walk after that. I did make it down, but it took me several hours. The good thing is I was only 3 miles from my car at the time, so I finished that hike, but I was limping and in quite a bit of pain for several months. And the good thing is my knee did fully heal, but these days I feel that left knee, especially when I'm coming down steep slopes. After a couple miles of that, I really start to feel it. The Kneevo sleeve has great support around my patella, and it also has great compression below and above that. So the sleeve holds in place really well, and it helps support the center of my knee. So if you've ever had a knee injury before, or if you find that your knees are sore after a lot of exercise, especially going downhill, or even if you want to use it at the gym, I think it's great for all of those use cases. If you've ever tried out a knee sleeve or knee brace before, oftentimes they're not very breathable. Usually they get very hot and very uncomfortable quickly. But what I like about this one is it's very breathable. I've been hiking here, it's a humid, fairly warm day, and this thing breathes great. It also doesn't rub on my leg, it stays in place, which is great. If it was rubbing on my leg, that would get very uncomfortable very quickly. But the compression on this keeps it in one place and it stays gripped. And even behind my kneecap, it's comfortable there too. In fact, not only is it not hot on my knee, it almost feels cool in a way. Like it feels cooling and soothing on my knee. I did not expect that. I thought it would at least get a little warm on my knee. You know, I'm sure if I'm out here hiking in 100 degrees, which I will be this summer, it'll probably get warmer on my knee. But the good news is right now, while I'm exerting myself on a hike, it's staying cool while the rest of me is pretty warm. And right now I am carrying some weight. I'm not carrying that 40-pound pack I was carrying when I injured my knee several years ago, but I do have a fairly good-sized year-old child on my back. and he and the carrier and our supplies in there combined weigh about 30 pounds right now. So that still puts a good bit of pressure on my knee, and my left knee is definitely more comfortable than my right knee right now. So I'm liking the Kneevo. So if you do a lot of outdoor activities or you do a lot of workouts in the gym where you think a knee sleeve would benefit you, I definitely encourage you to check out the Kneevo. The cost of it is well worth it. And for me, it's gonna make my hikes a lot more comfortable, especially when I'm going down those steep downhills. So I'm going down a steep rocky slope right now, and this feels great on here. I also feel like I'm in a little better control of my foot and my gripping when I have this support there, because I don't have to focus so much on not hurting my knee. This particular hike has a lot of ups and downs, so it's been a great test of the Kneevo to see how it feels on the uphills and the downhills. I'm really liking it. On the uphills, it doesn't get in my way. And on the downhills, it's definitely there providing support. So that's my summary of the Kneevo sleeve. If you have any further questions for me on it, I'd love to talk further about my experience. Definitely hit me up in the comments section below. Until we talk again, happy hiking.